Hello there. Time to listen. Are you listening? Are you aware of what are you listening to? What are you sensing? What are you interpreting that you're sensing? This is a very brief introduction to perhaps what I introduce in yoga, when I introduce and actually teach yoga recently. Through different experiences, but basically now don't move the movement and you'll get to live. That is for me the yoga. Atta yoga nushasanam. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Tadadrashtu svarupe avashtanam. This is basically an evolution process, yeah? And here it is really just an acoustic level, a bit of one slide introduction to a very simple aspect, very challenging, and even Patanjali went with Om was not even enough. Ah was not even enough. Atta now was not even enough. Yeah, 196 aphorisms, sutras to well, summarize our challenge with the evolution process, and in 4 chapters. There's a whole lot of stories that can be told around that, around this evolutionary process. It's also described that there is an involutionary process. Perhaps you might call a collapse inside, or a folding inside, if you actually like count down. Well, if I just take the first 3 sutras, actually involute from, you get to live. So don't move the movement. Now. Tadadrashtu svarupe avashtanam. Where the seer dwells in his own splendor. This means you are living and observing. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuation of consciousness, mind. We'll touch that all in due time. But basically it means don't move the movement, or I approach that this way. And I won't go in elaborating about moments and movement, and I'm certainly using BKS Iyengar's translation, a very for me a clear translation that is based on for me on my experience of what it means to actually live that, where life can actually start and end with and not continue further to Atta Yoga Nushasana, which even that is complicated. So Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and then to involute towards Atta Yoga Nushasana, where now begins the exposition of yoga. So you are potentially becoming aware of that union. This is really an introduction. However, it might be also the end. The challenging aspect with simple things in life, that our mind is so complicated, it seems to adore all these complexities. does not suffice. But what about this and what about that? 196 aphorisms. And again, many other tools on my path. I see that interesting filter for, since yoga has became so popular nowadays, where I'm practicing yoga. Are you living? Are you now? Are you trying to move the movement? Are you observing? Are you even aware what is the experience in it? Not just on the yoga mat, but even here now as you listen. You are in a specific posture. You may call it how you may call it. Yeah. Your body is the posture, is the asana. Yeah. Your mind flipping around in a certain asana inside, trying to get you away from this now, trying to move the movement. Yeah. Does not allow you to live, and it is doing its role as veiling you in this evolutionary process of our minds actually developed. And it can involute back and, like the rest of our organs, be well used. What I am teaching now may not be what I will teach next moment, even if I'll repeat the same words. This is just the current. Often challenging to differentiate between fluctuations and movement, between happenings and trying to get things to happen. And yes, we can go on a whole journey of a lifetime of curiosity through departing forward in the evolutionary process outside of where you're here to live. Tadadrashtu Svarupa Avashtanam, where the seer dwells in his own splendor, and where it's actually going to Vritti Sarupya Itaratram. Yeah, nice language there. Yeah, nice language. Where at times, yeah, your mind identifies with the fluctuating consciousness, and it's not in the now, and it tries to move the movement, and it's not serving as an observer, and in a way, you're not living yoga. But once you leave yoga, there's no practice anymore. That's where again abhyasa finishes, ends. Yoga has been, in my interpretation, in my experience, misinterpreted as it was actually universalized and brought to the West. Yeah. Through my process, I'm exploring or suggesting my realization, my self-realization. You've got your own. My self-realization through my self-discernment, my own experience. It is not really me, but we will not touch this I for this moment. I'll attempt to keep it simple. Now, don't move the movement, and you'll get to live yoga. And I've been around in this world for a while to see where it has been taken. Like many other systems. Very easy to make it populistic and yeah. It has its purpose in getting us connected to our bodies and letting our bodies live the life Leave your body alone. And then you'll find how the mind finds its role. So this is merely the introduction. Merely. Yeah, we can just pick to any sutras, any sound, any letter. Play around with language to allow us to observe our own unique experience. But are you ready? Now. Do not move the movement anymore. So you'll get to live yoga.